You're my soda pop, my little soda pop. When a film has songs this good, you know it's gonna be a good video. At first, I honestly thought that's all this film had to offer. Good music. And granted, every song in this film fucking slaps. You'll be going around singing either Soda Pop or Takedown for days after watching. However, there's more to this film than meets the eye. Oh, and while we're on the subject, if there are any dudes out there going, there's too much pink in this movie, or it's too girly, or some third kind of macho dude crap, I've got a message for you. Get over yourself and watch the film first, you idiot. Then you can feel free to complain about how girly it is and how there's too much pink. Alright? Now, moving on. Despite what some clips online might tell you, this is actually a pretty deep film with a beautiful message at its core about what to do with the parts of ourselves that we deem to not be worthy of loving, and how those around us will react when we express or hide these parts. It's not all good, but it's not all bad either. It is, however, always worth it. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. The worst parts of ourselves. Be it a tendency to be harsh and short-tempered, or overzealous and somewhat of a people pleaser, or having demonic patterns across your body. We all have parts of ourselves that we deem to be less than great. Parts we have at some point or another wished we could just get rid of. I think what makes this film truly special for me is the way it shows how these worst parts can affect the way we show up in the world. Oh, and just to clarify, when I say worst parts, I'm not categorizing anything as a terrible characteristic or something that makes you a less than adequate person. I just mean the parts that we feel insecure about and wish we could just get rid of. Now, just so the flow of this video makes sense, I'm gonna split this section into a few key parts. How those closest to us and society at large can encourage us to hide these parts, how people may try to manipulate and control us using these parts, and why it's so important to still show up as all of who you are. Alright? We good? Great. So, one detail that I really love about this film is the character of Celine and her behavior. You can tell just how much effort they put into the script as a whole just through Celine and her dialogue alone. To me, Celine represents the people in our lives who often encourage us to hide our worst parts from the world. And the best part about her character is that none of it comes from a place of malice. Celine explicitly says,
"We are hunters. Voices strong. Your faults and fears must never be seen."
However, she's not saying it because she hates it when the girls are themselves. She's saying it because that's what she was taught. She was taught that demon hunters are supposed to not show their faults and fears. She was taught that all demons are terrible, unfeeling monsters that deserve to be banished from the world. But then, all of a sudden, she has to raise a girl who is half demon. So, in order to bring an end to this inner turmoil of, this is the daughter of one of my best friends, but she's also the daughter of a demon, Celine did the one thing that made sense to her. Focus on Rumi's human side and reject her demonic heritage. Okay, look, it may be somewhat fucked up to do this, but it's understandable. When you've been raised to believe that you're meant to hide your worst parts from the world, unless you find fault with that idea, you're just naturally going to tell everyone around you to do the same. Which is why I don't see Celine as some kind of villain or bad person in any sense of the word. Because she truly believed that Rumi's life would be better and she would be happier if she rejected her demon side and if they did everything they could to fix her and get rid of it. However, as we know, this just led to Rumi growing up to feel deeply ashamed of herself and hating half of who she is. Rumi ends up building all kinds of walls around her that prevent her from truly letting other people in. Have you guys ever noticed how, in the beginning of the film, when the fans describe their favorite singers, the other two's personalities are mentioned? Like how Mira was the black sheep of her family, and how she can be kind of weird, and how scary Zoe can be when rapping. But with Rumi, it's like her mom was this person raised her, and she sings great. It's little details like this that I live for. It's like even her most devoted fans have almost no way of describing Rumi. Because of all the members of Huntrix, Rumi is the one who has Celine's lessons ingrained in her the most. You know, one of, if not just straight up the worst part about hiding parts of yourself that you're ashamed of is the fact that you'll often find that you're actually accepted and loved as this fake or incomplete version of yourself. You'll still be able to build those close connections with people. You'll still be able to gain all of the fame and fortune you seek. By every observable metric, your life can be great, like perfect even. But Nobody measures the pain of having to keep secrets from those who matter most. The aching you feel when doing something that feels wrong, but you can't tell why. And it's because of the fact that nobody keeps track of these things that makes it so difficult to change. Because what the hell do you mean you have everything you could ever want, but it just doesn't feel right? You're gonna nuke your whole life because something fucking feels off? It doesn't make any sense. In Rumi's case, showing the worst parts of herself means that not only does she risk her relationship with Zoe and Mira, but she risks having people see the members of Huntrix see her as anything but a perfect princess with an angelic voice. So she feels this internal and external pressure to hide her patterns from both the world and her best friends. Okay, now this might have made the film suck a bit depending on the execution, but part of me wishes that they'd had a scene similar to the beginning of the film where the fans talk about all of their favorite Huntrix members, but this time when it gets to Rumi, you have some fans talk about how they love Rumi even more with the patterns, and have others say that they hate the patterns and will never listen to their music again because of it. I think it would have fit quite well with the film's message, because the truth is, if you've spent years, decades even, hiding certain parts of yourself, there will be people who leave because you are no longer the person that you once were. So you no longer fill the role in their life that you once did. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just par for the course. But there are also people who will love you even more as your true self, the real you, because they connect with you on an even deeper level than they did before. Kind of like how so many people love Eminem's music because of how raw it is and how he talks about some of the shittiest events in his life. That is what they connect with. I also like how the film shows us what can happen when we don't accept these worst parts of ourselves. We leave ourselves open to manipulation by those around us. I love this line in particular.
This means she has shame. I'll find out what it is, and we can use it to destroy her.
Because, yeah, if you're ashamed of a certain part of yourself and afraid of being rejected by those around you for even having that be part of who you are, it doesn't take much for someone to take advantage of you. All they have to do is pretend to be the only one who will understand, the only one who will accept you, and the only one who will love the real you. And next thing you know, they've got you in the palm of their hand. Because yeah, as far as you can tell, that's true. You've never had anyone see those worst parts. So you've never had anyone say that they still love you, warts and all. What am I even referencing there? Whatever. Anyways, overall, I just love the message about the importance of accepting your worst character traits, about loving yourself as you are, and ultimately allowing others to love the person that you are. It gives you a sense of clarity and peace of mind. One detail that I really like is how Rumi's patterns change when she accepts her demon half as part of who she is. They don't vanish, because no matter what she does, she will always be part demon. However, once she accepts this as part of who she is, she gains a sense of clarity and peace that is reflected in how these patterns become clear. She has attained inner peace. Do I really need to say anything about these songs? Dude, these songs have been blowing up all over the world, and one of them even won a Grammy. And honestly, that's something I really appreciate about the music in this film. The story is about globally recognized pop stars, so it's pretty cool that the songs they sing are actually awesome, and they don't just expect us to believe that these girls are good. Oh, and by the way, I don't actually listen to K-pop. Now, before y'all freak the fuck out, let me explain. You know that one friend all of us have? The one who doesn't watch anime. But you know that they simply have not found their genre yet. Yeah, that's basically my relationship with K-pop. I've had some friends try to get me into it, but I never really committed to finding songs or groups or artists that I really gel with. So yeah, everything I'm hearing in this film is basically all that I imagine K-pop is, and I have to say, I really like it. I might start properly looking for K-pop artists to listen to just because of this film. I like how smoothly and effortlessly the lines switch between English and Korean. It makes the songs just that much more entertaining. It might be because of all the TikTok dances, but of all the songs here, Soda Pop feels like the one that would actually just get released by some K-pop group somewhere in the world. It's so energetic, infectious, and a blast to listen to. But y'all know me, I don't really do music analysis. Like, I can't say that the key sounds off or the key sounds right or this element of the music adds to this element of the film. No. However, for this particular film, I like how the songs fit in with the general theme of the film. Like, if we exclude a few of them, namely How It's Done, Soda Pop, and there was another one. I cannot for the life of me remember what it is, but there's another song. All of the songs here, excluding those three, add to the overall message of the film. For example, Takedown. Takedown for me is a song or an action you take to reject part of yourself. For Rumi, Takedown is a rejection of all demons, including her demon half. Takedown is her screaming and saying, I am not a demon. I hate demons. But it's still part of who she is. I like how they show her not feeling right about Takedown because it feels so natural. Like you're singing a song about how you hate demons, but ultimately it's still part of who you are. And while on the topic of rejecting parts of yourself, Idol for me is like a last-ditch attempt at trying to manipulate you using your shame, your fears, your faults. Funny thing is, there's literally a line in the song that goes something like, I'm the only one who will accept your sins. And yeah, it's very difficult to hear a line like that. Or, okay, that line in itself, yeah, you can tell that is pure manipulation. But there are other ways of saying that makes it less obvious that you're being manipulated. And it's so difficult when you've rejected part of who you are for so long to hear someone say that, no, you can be all of who you are around them and think I am being manipulated. But yeah, same way that we have Takedown and Idol talking about the worst parts of ourselves and what can happen when we don't accept those, there's Golden, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the last song of this film is. Like, I genuinely cannot remember. But for me, Golden and the last song of the film, what was it? No. I actually need to think about this. This is what it sounds like. For me, Golden is what that last song was supposed to be. Golden is supposed to be honest and authentic and unite all of their fans. Golden is supposed to be the song that's the story of them and their lives and the future of the world. They literally say that in an interview. But she says, no more hiding, I'll be shining like I was born to be. But she's still hiding. But in the last song, you can feel that all three of the members of Huntrix are not just accepting their worst parts, talking about how they were cowards and liars to hide these worst parts, talking about having the jagged edges meet the light. All three of them are accepting parts of themselves that they, for most of their lives, have believed to be weaknesses, to be things that they believe will make those around them decide to leave. This is what it sounds like is the perfect song to end this film on, because it's them finally accepting, yeah, we're not perfect, but we're trying, we're getting better, and we're gonna keep trying, we're gonna keep getting better. And this is who we actually are. I really just love how this film was somehow able to have songs that are incredible, fantastic, like global phenomenons. But at the same time, these songs have such depth, such incredible messages within the context of the film that I'm kind of just blown away. That you could make a song for a film that is so perfectly suited to the message of the film and yet have that same song be so good that the whole world is singing it. That is truly something special in my opinion. The soundtrack for this film is truly something special. Alright, now one of the things that always makes a film for me are the relationships between the characters, especially the main cast. The relationship between the main three, good God, I love it. Their silly, playful moments just tell you and let you feel that, yeah, this is a group of friends. They're so incredibly in sync. Like, I'm not just talking when they're singing, but even when they're snacking or just having fun or when they're fighting, they're so in sync that you can feel that they've been together for years. They care about each other. They know each other inside and out. Well, as much as they can know each other with the whole hiding your worst parts thing. But you feel the love between the three of them. You feel the history. Their behavior is not something you build after just a few weeks of knowing someone or a few months or honestly a year. These are bonds and connections that have been built over years. They've become such close friends. And you feel it in every line, in every word, in every action. Like, I love how protective Mira and Zoe are of Rumi. For example, when they realize backstage that they've been tricked by demons, the first thought is, holy shit, is Rumi okay? What is going on? Is she okay? And like, we're not talking about like some fragile being. We're talking about a warrior with ancient powers that defends the world. And yet they still go, is Rumi okay? And run back onto the stage. One detail that I really love, and I'll be honest, I didn't notice this myself because I don't know much about fighting techniques and stuff. So I got this information from a YouTube short somewhere. I love that when Mira and Zoe see that Rumi is a demon, they're not standing there ready to attack. Mira is holding her weapon. Is it a scythe? Scythe? I don't know. Mira is holding her weapon in a defensive stance. Zoe pulls out 2 daggers instead of the usual 6 because they're standing there to defend themselves. Because, yeah, it's a demon. Like Celine, they've been taught that all demons are cold, unfeeling monsters. So they're prepared to defend themselves. But not for a second does either of them think, I'm going to attack Rumi. Because no, Rumi is their best friend. Rumi is the person that matters more to them than anyone, excluding each other. That for me is just a beautiful detail. Their relationship just feels so real. Unlike Rumi and Jinu. Yeah, look, I feel like I'm gonna get like a whole lot of flack for this. Feel free to scream in the comments about how I'm crazy or delusional or whatnot. But look, I'm a romance anime lover. Like, I'm not just talking the good romance anime, like I watch the trash as well. So I'm not very difficult to please when it comes to romance in stories. Or rather, romance in anime. Because the truth is, I can tolerate like a couple not really feeling in an anime, but feeling it in a film, the relationship between Rumi and Jinu just feels so undercooked. Let me compare Rumi and Jinu to the members of Huntrix. With the members of Huntrix, they're able to play around, have fun together, they're able to spend time together beyond just being pop stars that are supposed to protect the world. But with Rumi and Jinu, bro, the only thing they've talked about is the fact that they're both demons. How to defeat Grima. And I get that is the main focus. Like, bro has been a demon for 400 years. Rumi's ancestors have been fighting demons since forever. Like, I get that is the focus. But dude, you gotta give me more than just both of them have demons in them and they connect over that. Like, it doesn't feel like this dude is ready to sacrifice his life for this girl. Like, funnily enough, in that final moment when Jinu is about to sacrifice himself, the first time that I watched it, I was sitting there thinking, okay, I've watched films before. No shit, right? So obviously it made more sense for me for Jinu to come and save Rumi or protect her. But bro, I'm sitting there like, but would he? Like, I get that they had that nice song together. Like, like I said, I'm a romance anime lover. If you give me 2 characters, they look at each other in a certain way, they spend any amount of time together, and you give me a nice sequence of them singing and whatnot, yeah, I'm gonna want them as a couple. But that doesn't take away from the fact that it's still gonna feel undercooked. I wish that Rumi and Jinu had spent more time together outside of the whole what do we do about Gima and planning to seal the demons away forever. I wish that they had done more stuff together. I wish they could sell them as a couple more than just selling them as like partners in crime. The relationship does not feel real to me, and gets even worse when you have the Huntrix members right there. You have this raw, deep bond between 3 people, and you're telling me that these 2 are also in love. Having these 2 on screen just elevates this one and highlights this one's shortcomings. Okay, so there's some other stuff that I couldn't squeeze in anywhere else, so I'm just gonna mention it here. Look, I've watched this film a couple of times to make this video, and I love the humor. However, 2 things about it. 1, some of the cringe, gross out humor doesn't land on rewatch. Like, it's hilarious the first time you watch it, but the more you watch it, the more you just sit there like, yeah, no, that's not funny anymore. However, there are some things that are just hilarious. Like, I don't know why, and I sincerely hope that Korean game shows are actually like this, because I'm actually gonna look this shit up afterwards. Like, that one line where Jinyu goes, "Play games with us!" Dude, I don't know why that's so funny, but it is fucking hilarious. And it's not the only example of weird ass humor that actually lands upon rewatch. Like, the entire scene at Dr. Han, bro, you cannot get past that scene without laughing your ass off. And then there's the moment where they meet the Saja boys, and you have like the other two just lusting after the dude with abs, and then you have Rumi getting knocked over by Jinyu. Like, bro, we're talking about a warrior who kills demons on a daily basis. Why the fuck is she falling like that? A lot of the humor for me lands perfectly, but some of the gross out humor doesn't land the same upon rewatch. And one other thing I want to say in this section of the video is that the first thing I thought when I watched this film, when the film ended, the exact thing I was thinking was, this film could not have been made at any other period in history. Because everything in this film just gives 2025. Everything from the fact that you have K-pop in the film. Like, bro, is it just me or has K-pop been everywhere for the past like 5 years? And then all of the gross out humor, I don't see it happening in any film from the 2010s. And granted, I haven't watched all of them, but bro, I don't see this happening, man. And then you have certain phrases in the film like jump scare. Has anyone ever seen the word jump scare be used in any film before this one? I just feel like this film could not have been made at any other period in history. And for that reason, I'm curious to see how it ages. Because it can go either way. The way I see it, either we're gonna have a situation like with old 90s movies, like those films have a certain feel to them. And people still love films from back then. So K-pop Demon Hunters can either go that way, or because it was made in 2025, because it is a product of our time, as I put it, it could just, in 5 years' time, die out. Because in 5 years' time, people are like, yeah, that was a good film for back then. But I honestly hope that's not the case. And I'll be honest, I believe it won't be, because the message of the film is timeless, it's universal. Just that some of the elements of the film are so 2025, are so 2020s in general, that I feel like over time, those elements might drag the film down. So, to summarize, I love K-pop Demon Hunters. I actually feel so bad because this film came out like, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, and a bunch of my friends told me, dude, you need to watch this film, you need to watch this film, you need to watch this film. And like, I'll be honest, the animation just looked like something you would see on Disney. Like, it didn't seem like something to take seriously. Just seemed like, okay, it's alright, it's okay. It didn't seem worth my time. Books and covers, I know, books and covers, I'm learning to move past it. But I'm really glad that I decided to give this film a shot. Because, good lord, it is good. I love this film, and my final rating of this film is 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I can't go any higher than that. As much as I love the film, I love the message, I love the music, as I rewatch it, there's just so much gross out humor that just doesn't land upon rewatch. And also, the relationship between Rumi and Jinnu just, yeah, I couldn't. It'd be one thing if Jinnu was just some side character. Like, I don't care about the relationship between Rumi and Dr. Han. But, bro, their relationship is so integral to the story that the mere fact that it feels so undercooked, like it feels as if it's lacking something, it just brought the film down for me. 8.5 out of 10 is the score I'm giving this film because it is bloody good. It is definitely worth the watch. Anyways, that's been me. As always, if y'all don't like what I had to say, got a fantastic suggestion. Make your own video. Cheers.